So we're in the book of Daniel, chapter 12. This is the last sermon from the book of Daniel. And so we have gone through the whole book over the last number of months. So this is a significant event. And here we are, Daniel chapter 12. And we're going to read 4 verses. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 down to verse 4. At that time, Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. There will be a time of distress such as that has not happened from the beginning of the nations until then. But at that time, your people, everyone whose name is found written in the book, will be delivered. Multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, others to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, roll up and seal the words of the scroll until the time of the end. Many will go here and there to increase knowledge. Full stop. Very end of Daniel, there are a few more verses that follow. But really this is kind of the end of the book of Daniel. It comes after visions of beasts, visions of statues of gold, burning furnaces, rise of a couple of empires, the fall of a couple of empires. And this is how the book ends. It ends with Michael, the great prince, who protects his people. He will arise. There will be a time of distress, such as not happened from the beginning of the nations until then. And then everyone whose name who is found in the book will be delivered. Multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake to everlasting life or everlasting contempt. And those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. And then Daniel is told, roll up the scroll, seal the words of the scroll until the time of the end. Now, this passage has got some bad press, and unfortunately, if we're not careful, we all sink down to the bit that's very negative. We all sink down to verse 1, and we go to the second line. There will be a time of distress, such as has not happened from the beginning of nations until then. Time of great distress. And when that is linked to Matthew's Gospel, chapter 24, if you have a Bible, you could look at it right now. I'll leave you to look at it in the comfort of your own homes as well. It has a lot of distress in that passage. It's full of woe and terrible things that will happen, and woe to those who are pregnant during those times, and woe to those who are on a journey, and woe to those. And it's kind of very dark. And it talks about the end, the time of the end. And the problem is that means it's conditioned all of us to think that the most important thing in chapter 12 of Daniel, in verses 1 down to 4, which is the culmination, the conclusion of the book of Daniel, that the most important thing is this terrible time of distress. And so you'll hear sermons that run something like this: and at the end of the world there will be a terrible time, and all of those who are there will get it in the neck. That's what it's really saying. Persecution, and you hear about the details of what terrible things are going to be happening. But the point is, that is not the main point of chapter 12 and verses 1 to 4. It is not the main point. This is not focusing on distress and gloom and doom. What does it actually say? It says to us, Michael, the great prince, will rise up. Why? It tells us that those whose names are written in the book will be delivered, and those who are not in the book, those who are woken from the sleep of death, will rise to either glory or shame. And then it says these words in verse 3: those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. Where is the real context of this book, of this passage? The answer is, it's those who shine like stars and those who will be bright forever and ever. The application of what this passage is saying to us is, do you wish to shine like stars? Do you wish to be like those who will be bright and glorious forever and ever? Do you want to be like that? That is the main application of what this is saying. Let me ask you, how many of you buy things on the internet? It's not a trick question. Everyone's hand would go up. If I said to you, how many of you bought something off of the internet in the last week? A surprisingly larger number of hands would go up. Because you can walk down a street, wherever you are, you can hit purchase, and within 24 hours, I won't stamp on that knee, there's a knock on the door, and there's your purchase. It comes to you. That is true for so many people all over the world. Is that not correct? Yes? That's true, isn't it? You are allowed to agree or disagree. If you disagree, you could go like that. If you agree, you could go like that. What is it about that which has something to do with this passage? Well, I'll tell you exactly what. You see, there is a delivery service which is going on in this passage, which is so like the delivery service when you click purchase and the product comes to you. Let me ask you a few questions about your purchases. Are your purchases, do you think, thrown across a warehouse, caught by someone at the other end, and then kicked into a van which has no locks, no security, driven by someone who's kind of hanging out of the window, leaves the van unlocked, the doors open, and anyone can come in and take your goods? No. No, 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 no. You would not get your iPhone or your product, whatever it was. It would have been stolen on the way, wouldn't it? Yes? Is that true? Okay, you thought you came for a sermon. You're hearing all about transportation. But stick with it, folks. So there is security. Very few things actually get stolen. Sometimes you do see videos on YouTube and stuff like that of people walking up and there's a door cam, yeah? And the person comes up and takes the goods and runs off. Yes? I can't be the only person that's watched those videos. Am I the only person that's watched those videos? Nobody else has ever looked at the internet, have they? You never look at the internet. You've never looked at YouTube. Is that true? No, it's not true, is it? You're in church. You can't lie. So the point is that there is security in the delivery. There is a van, usually, driven badly. No, there is a van, usually, which has big locks, very big locks on the back, and security on the doors, yes? So nothing is stolen. And then that van goes, and they will probably hit you with about 3 emails saying, we're coming, we're coming, we're coming. Yes? Or am I the only one that gets the 3 emails? 5, very good. And then they might ring you up as well. If you live up a mountain like we do, they have to ring you up because otherwise they don't want to drive up the mountain and drive all the way back because you're out. And they say, hello, are you in? Usually in rush Spanish. Are you in? Lots of noise all around. Yes, we're in. Okay, I'm coming right now. And then 10 minutes later, bom, bom, in it comes. Package delivered. And then you will get another email which says, we have delivered your package. Aren't you fortunate? Aren't you blessed? Aren't you plucky? That's great. So plucky is blessed and lucky put together. So it's plucky. So, wonderful. Package has gone through all of the process, securely delivered. Verse 1, Michael stands up. Verse 1, Michael, the prince, the great prince, verse 1, who stands up, arises, and protects. Who does he protect? What does the passage say? Who does he protect? Himself? People. Whose people? Israel. His people. He protects his people, the children of Abraham. Are you a child of an Abraham? You are the child of Abraham. If you have been grafted in to that vine that Jesus talked about, You are a child of Israel. You're a child of the promise. Israel is about being a child of the promise that God will make a nation for himself which is so numerous that you cannot count the stars. God works through promise, covenant. That's why you have an old covenant, a new covenant, old promise, new promise. They are the same promise, but they work in slightly different ways. So God is gathering this people. And the prince, Michael, the great prince, will arise to protect his people. Why would he need to protect his people? Can you think of anything more mindless than 5 minders around one person walking down the street and there's absolutely no danger? The only thing that the one person with the 5 big muscly minders around them that tower above them do is draw attention from all the people around thinking, who is that? Why are they so important? Or why are they in fear of their lives? The only time you need minders is when there is a danger to your life. And so the church of Jesus Christ, the church is in danger. The church is in danger. The people of God are in danger from the time of distress, which is in verse 1b. So Prince Michael, Jesus, stands up. He arises to protect his people. Thank God for Prince Michael. I won't talk about the princes of England at the moment. Make everybody laugh, but anyway. But Prince Michael, the great prince, my personal opinion, it is Jesus who is pictured here. And if it's not Jesus, then it is one of the high-ranking angels who has authority and power to protect. So we know times of difficulty will come, and yet there is protection because Prince Michael will rise up and will protect his church. He is like the locks on the van that delivers the package. He is the security that makes sure what you ask for on the internet will actually arrive at the destination, because delivery is exactly what this is about. Delivery of the people of God through all eternity to the destination which is called heaven, and it will be done securely. You are part of the delivery package. You are on the way to glory. I hope you understand that. If you're a Christian today, God is not going to leave you off the bus going to heaven. You are going to get to heaven because he has willed it. He has decided it. And what he says will come to pass. Where then is the fear? We don't need to fear, even though we go through suffering. Jesus went through suffering. Hebrews 12, verse 4, something like that. Now we see who really looks at the Bible, because they'll correct me on which verse it is. But did not in any way hold back from the cross, nor scorn its shame. He did that because of the joy that was set before him. He went through the pain, yes, and the suffering, but it was for the joy which was before him. Christian, brother, sister, are you full of joy in the midst of your suffering right now? You should be. If not, why not? Maybe we're looking for joy and happiness in the wrong places. Find where Jesus was looking for joy and happiness, and you and I will have that same joy.